Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening to the wonderful people here on the island of Nevis, those in St. Kitts, those in the wider Caribbean. I say a special evening to our friends and family in our neighboring islands of St. Martin, those who are in Saba, Statia, Anguilla, those in St. Bart's, those who are in Puerto Rico, and of course in the U.S. and British Virgin Islands. Good evening to all of you wherever you are and you're tuned in to On The Mark. Good evening. Good evening to those in Canada, those in the United States, those in the United Kingdom, people who have for all these years faithfully listened to the show and stayed up. In the case of those in the UK, we are usually 4 hours behind, so it's midnight there already. And they are nevertheless up and listening to the show. This is, in many respects, the voice that you have heard for the last 20 years. A young person said to me recently that they grew up on the Mark, and I am delighted that we have had such longevity, that we've been here now for 2 decades. Not many things last for that long, but we have been here, we have persevered, and for that I am truly grateful. I want to thank Von Radio, Weber Herbert, of course, Merrick Herbert for the vision, Weber Herbert for his execution of that vision here at Von Radio, and the entire team. I've worked with a very special group of people over all these years, and I continue to work with special people here at Von Radio who make this show possible. I also want to thank the law firm of Daniel Brantley, because it is that law firm that has paid for this show for the past 2 decades. And just imagine that they've paid for this show to have it on air for the past 2 decades, and that is why we have been able to do a show for 2 hours of primetime talk radio without any commercial interruption. That has been the model, and that model has worked over the last 2 decades, and we continue to use that model because it allows us an opportunity to speak to the issues in a fulsome way, and allows you, the population, when you call in, because it is a call-in show, to allow you to develop your points without being rushed. And that is why when we open the lines, we do encourage you to call. Many people leave it until the very last minute, and then they don't get a full opportunity to develop their points. And so once the lines are open, we urge you to call in to talk about the issues that might be impacting you, and whatever it is that you have on your mind. As I like to say, this is the people's show. We do not shy away from any topic on this show. It is about giving real factual information in a world of misinformation and fake news. When every day we wake up there is some lie being peddled, you can always depend on this show to give you accurate information. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good, but you can trust me and trust this show to give you information that is factual. If we don't have the information, we tend not to speculate. We prefer to allow us an opportunity to research and to come back. But once we have the information, we share that information which is factual, always factual. That is the importance. And that is why there's no need to fact check where we're concerned. There's no need to back check where we're concerned, because you can be assured that when we try to answer questions that the public poses, we answer truthfully, we answer fully, and we try to give you the information that we have. We invite all shades of public opinion. I am a politician. I am the leader of the Concerned Citizens Movement. I am the Premier of the island of Nevis, but I do not shy away from opinions that differ to my own. I recognize that not everybody supports me or my party. I recognize that there are people with a different viewpoint, and that's okay. The only thing that I encourage is when we have our conversations that we remain respectful of each other. I will tolerate no disrespect from anyone on this show, and I don't think that anyone should tolerate any disrespect from me or from anyone else. We have to get to a point on this island when we can speak to each other. We can disagree without being disagreeable. And that, I think, is a very important distinction. And so I want to urge our people, when you call in on this show, when you engage on social media, when you engage with people face to face, that you have the need to be respectful of each other. You may not agree, but as I heard one person say, that the very essence of democracy is you being allowed to shout at the top of your voice what you believe, and at the same time respecting the other person's right to shout at the top of his voice what he believes, even if those beliefs are as far apart as night and day. That is the essence. It is to allow each other the space and the respect to share views and opinions. And I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, even for those who disagree with me, that when we listen to each other, when we share views in a respectful way, sometimes we get a better idea. Sometimes I have an idea, the government has a position, but by sharing your views, we can refine that position and in fact make it better. Sometimes you have a position, but by listening, you say, well, yeah, maybe my position isn't entirely correct, and I can therefore refine my position. As an educated community, as an educated society, I shudder sometimes at what passes for public debate. Every morning we get up, there's some breaking news, 99.9% of which is false. And these things are circulated and all manner of things are said. People fixate on what you wear, where you went, how you sound, and the substance that we look for, the substantive debates that we ought to have. We never have, because there is a lack of substantive response to issues. And so this show aims to tackle all that. This show aims to engage in conversations, and I think that that's very important. We're not here to shout at each other. We're here to engage in conversations. So if you're calling and you want to engage in a conversation, then that's what we do. If you call in and instead you want to engage in some kind of soliloquy, they call that a monologue. That is only you talking or only me talking. That's not the ideal or the optimum position. The optimal position is that you speak, I listen, I speak, you listen, and that is the way a conversation ought to happen. We want fewer monologues and more dialogue. That, I think, is an important essence of this show. And so as we move into the show this evening, I want to thank all who have tuned in, all who are locked on online. I want to thank you for being here with me. I have missed a few shows in the last months due to travel, but ordinarily I try to be here. When I became Premier of Nevis, in fact, since I was elected into government, there are many who said to me that I ought to abandon this show. They said it is uncomfortable being in my position and being on radio and exposing myself to calls from all and sundry for people to raise issues that would be an uncomfortable position. My response then, my response now, my response tomorrow will be that I cannot say that I'm a servant of the people and be afraid to engage with the people. And that is why I'm here on Wednesdays. Not because I have to be here, not because I think that it is somehow a political stunt to be here. I am here because I take my job as the servant-in-chief of the people of Nevis seriously. I'm here because I think those of us who offer ourselves for public service must open ourselves up to questions and answers and clarification and engagement with those whom we say we serve. Openness and transparency have always been the hallmarks of my time in politics and my time in public office. And that is why I'm come here every Wednesday. Once I'm on island, once I'm healthy, I'm here. I have perhaps done 95% of the shows. On the 5% I'm not here, my colleagues will fill in for me. And they too are public servants. They too are elected or nominated individuals who sit in Parliament, who sit in the cabinet. And so they too come and they face the public. They engage in sometimes difficult conversations because our public sometimes is a difficult public. Our people sometimes have real issues and they want to discuss those. And we can sometimes come and we paint a particular picture. We say what we feel from a perspective that we have, and then people call in and they say, I don't share that view, I don't share that perspective. But I want people to know that it is a demonstration of service that we come here. It is a manifestation of my own personal deep-seated commitment to engaging with the people of Nevis at every turn. Whether it's at the local shop, the local barber shop, the local business, whether it's on the street corner, on the block, whether it's in the Parliament or in my office formally, whether it's at church, wherever it may be. It is my joy, my pleasure, my honor to engage with the people of Nevis. And even those who are the harshest critics always have an ear if they so desire. And you may be surprised at some of the individuals who come to my office, who see me and engage in conversations with me, who have issues that they want resolved and come quietly and get those issues resolved. And then the next day they're on radio bashing me and saying how terrible I am and how hopeless I am. But such is the nature of our politics, and such is the nature of public service. And so I don't shy away from it, I welcome it. And that is why I'm here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today is the 11th day of June in the year of our Lord 2025. On the 11th day of June in the year of our Lord 2007, we lost a great Nevisian. Suddenly, his life was snatched and his service was ended in this realm to the people of Nevis and the wider community of St. Kitts and Nevis. That individual was the Honorable Earl Malcolm Gishard, Gish as many people knew him. He left to mourn his wife Yvonne, his children, brothers and sisters. He left to mourn his parents, his family, and he left to mourn an entire community. Not just the good people of St. John's and St. Paul's, whom he represented for a very long time, St. John's at the local level in the Parliament, St. John's and St. Paul's at the national level. Not just the people of Nevis, but also the people of St. Kitts, whom he served as leader of the opposition in the national parliament. Malcolm's death shocked us all. I remember very well going to the hospital and the crowds that had gathered at Alexandra Hospital as the word spread that he had gone for his morning swim and had passed away. And so today we remember Malcolm. It has now been some 18 years since his passing. And we remember his legacy, the housing revolution that he birthed, the various basketball and tennis and recreational spots all around the island of Nevis. His role in terms of the development of our infrastructure, roads, communities. Malcolm's DNA is on every aspect of what we did. His role in tourism as tourism minister. He has contributed, and even 18 years after his passing, we, the people of Nevis, continue to benefit from his vision and from the things that he accomplished. May all of us in public service leave a legacy that years after we are gone, our people can still benefit from what we worked for, what we did, what we implemented. And so tonight, I join all of us here at Vaughan Radio. I join the entire family of the Concerned Citizens Movement. I join the Nevis Island Administration. I join the people of Nevis and all the patriots of Nevis. I join the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. I join the family and friends in extending deep condolences, ongoing condolences and prayers to Yvonne and her children and those siblings and relatives that survived Malcolm. I can think of Mignon, I can think of my brother Doc Gishard in New York. I just want to say to you that Malcolm was loved by many. He continues to be loved by many, and his contribution can never ever be erased. There are many who had lots to say, but talk is cheap, as we know. It is the actions, the legacy of the man that we continue to celebrate. And so we remember Malcolm, remember him for his contribution, remember him for the legacy that he has left. We remember him for his humility, his big heart, his service, his friendliness. He was a servant of the people of Nevis and the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. And I believe his family should be proud of that legacy. Ladies and gentlemen, today, of course, the members of the CCM would have, as we have done since his passing, gone to his gravesite to lay a wreath. I regrettably was not on island, but I would have paid my own respects through social media. And I just want again to reassure the family that Malcolm and the memory of Malcolm will never die. It will never, ever die. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason that I was not here on island this morning is because I traveled with the Honorable Alexis Jeffers, who, as you know, is an advisor to the Office of the Premier and who has been charged by the NIA to lead on the airport expansion project at the Van Sammer International Airport. Alexis and I would have traveled in our official capacity. My wife Sharon would have accompanied me in her private capacity, and we traveled to the island of St. Bart's, which is nearby. Why? We went there to attend Caribavia, which is a gathering of airline and aviation experts, policymakers from around the region. We had representatives from St. Bart's, we had representatives from the US, we had representatives from St. Martin, representatives, of course, from St. Kitts and from Nevis. And we had an excellent meeting there. I was invited to speak as a keynote speaker at the invitation of the organizers in St. Bart's. And I took the opportunity to introduce the Honorable Alexis Jeffers and to allow him to lead the conversation on the proposed development of the airport in Nevis. I can tell you that he did an excellent job. He laid out the plans, he laid out the program, and it was incredibly well received. As a consequence, I then met with the president of St. Bart's, my friend Xavier Lede, and he and I were able to discuss further our efforts at formalizing plans for St. Bart's and the island of Nevis to have a closer connection. We feel that there are great areas for us to collaborate. The guest that goes to St. Bart's in the very highly developed and highly sophisticated tourism industry is a similar guest that comes to Nevis and vice versa. We see that there are synergies. It's only 15 minutes by light aircraft between the two islands, and that we can do more together. That the island of Nevis can provide a respite for the people of St. Bart's in the off-season, and during the tourism season, that there are opportunities for visitors to St. Bart's to take day trips to Nevis and vice versa. St. Bart's doesn't have golf. St. Bart's doesn't have the large expansive spas that Nevis has. St. Bart's doesn't have the deep history that Nevis has. St. Bart's doesn't have the hiking, the trails. St. Bart's doesn't have the hot springs. These are all opportunities for us to capitalize and to say to guests to St. Bart's, come to Nevis, spend a day. Enjoy the food, enjoy the golf, enjoy all that Nevis has to offer. And equally, St. Bart's can say to the guests in Nevis, come to St. Bart's for the day. Enjoy French food, enjoy shopping at the luxury shops in Gustavia, and to enjoy what St. Bart's has to offer. It is time, I believe, that we work on these relationships to ensure that we have the necessary connectivity and the necessary engagements so that we can bring the people of our region closer together. It is astonishing sometimes that our people fly off to Miami and to New York and to London, and they've never been to some of the neighboring islands. They've never been to St. Bart's. And people in St. Bart's fly to Paris, but they've never been to Nevis. And so we need to fashion new connections, open up new avenues for engagement. We talked about agriculture. The people of St. Bart's, the hotels, the restaurants, they get most of their produce, comes all the way from France. It comes from France, it goes to Guadeloupe, and sometimes by the time they get their lettuce and tomatoes, they're over a week old. And I said to the president, could you imagine if we can set up farms on the very fertile island of Nevis or on our sister St. Kitts and have those farms produce just for the St. Bart's market? Tomatoes, lettuce, leafy greens of all kinds, seasonings, peppers, just for the St. Bart's market. So we have farmers, and we said to these 6, 8, 10 farmers, listen, set up your shade house production, set up your production. In St. Bart's, they love coconut water, but guess what? They have no coconut palms. Certainly not like we have here. That, again, is a huge market. They were telling me how expensive coconut water is. And most of the times when they get coconut water, they have to buy it in the stores, in the boxes, which is full of preservatives. Could you imagine that we can start to supply coconuts for coconut water to St. Bart's? I say that because, as you know, the Nevis Island Administration and the Ministry of Agriculture, then under the leadership of the Honorable Alexis Jeffers, would have planted over 5,000 coconut palms at Indian Castle. We would have distributed thousands of coconut palms through the Ministry of Agriculture all across Nevis. And the reason for that is we were trying to replenish and restart our production of coconuts after the deadly lethal yellowing disease had destroyed our coconut palms. Those 5,000 plus palms are now bearing fruit. And you know when coconuts start to bear, once they get water, they continue to bear in abundance. Coconut water is very popular here. We see the youngsters making $1 on the sides of the road selling fresh coconut water. But a lot of those coconuts are still imported. So we want to turn that around. And we want now not only to supply our local market, but also the possibility of export. These are the types of conversations that we had. The President would have invited the Honorable Alexis Jeffers and I for a private lunch, and we would have had lunch and had an opportunity to further those discussions. I'm very excited, ladies and gentlemen, about the opportunities that St. Bart's provides. As a direct consequence of this visit, the leader of the tourism, elected member who is charged with tourism for St. Bart's, she and her team will be visiting the island of Nevis to further explore, further deepen, further understand what it is we're offering. We now need to find the way to link us by air to ensure that people here and people there have the ease of travel to go back and forth. And so we will work on that to make it happen. The trip and the conference gave us a real opportunity to engage with our closest neighbors, to engage with St. Kitts. They had the folks there from Kayanjet, to engage with St. Martin Airways, to engage with airlines like Tradewinds and Winair. The CEO of Winair was there and he spoke. To engage with small islands that are dealing with many of the same challenges that the island of Nevis is dealing with. We only spent the one night. The conference was yesterday and today it continues tomorrow, but I opted to come back this afternoon because I wanted to be here on the show this evening. And so here I am, reporting to you that the trip was a good trip and that we made good progress in St. Bart's, and we anticipate that these trips will add value in agriculture, in tourism, in exchanges between the people of St. Bart's and the people of Nevis. I want to thank the Honorable Alexis Jeffers, who represented us beautifully in his presentation and spoke to the project that we are seeking to undertake. The government and people of St. Bart's are very excited about this project because the private jet market that we are seeking to go after is precisely the market that they want. But they have no capacity in St. Bart's to provide for private jets. And so for them to have an island that is only 10-15 minutes away, having the capacity, developing that infrastructure that they can then benefit from, is of tremendous value to them. I say this because I want our people to understand that whilst there is a tremendous level of negative chatter from a few people, tremendous level of chatter from a few people, because they talk a lot, they talk loudly, they talk all day, every day. Some say they have the luxury of that because many of them choose not to work. And so they talk and talk. And there is a lot of negativity that is spewed by those few. I want the public to understand that we are not just going and in a haphazard way doing things by happenstance. No. We are very deliberate in our engagements and what we are seeking to build here on the island of Nevis. I am confident, ladies and gentlemen, that with the grace of God, with good health, with hopefully no natural disasters impacting us, that this island of Nevis will emerge. And I want you to hear my words carefully. This island of Nevis will emerge as the best place in the Caribbean to live, to work, to raise families. I am confident that we have what it takes, the leadership, the stability, the knowledge, the know-how, the capacity, and most of all, the drive to make it happen. And I am confident that this little island will, it's already on the way, but I'm confident that it will become the leader in this region. As I go around this region, and I look at the state of the infrastructure in the region, the roads, the water infrastructure, the electricity infrastructure, the housing infrastructure, the health infrastructure, the education infrastructure, the infrastructure for safety nets for those who need a hand up, the infrastructure for our elderly. Do you know, for example, that the island of Nevis has recently been named the very first friendly city, elderly friendly city in the entire Eastern Caribbean? Not named by us, because you know they say you can't mark your own paper. Named by PAHO and the World Health Organization as the very first elderly friendly city in the Eastern Caribbean. So as I look around, and as I see colleagues and partners and I engage, because my network is wide in the region, and they look at this little island with scarce resources, and they say, how is it you're able to manage to do the things that you're doing? The quality of your roads, water in people's pipes 24/7, electricity that doesn't go off the way it used to, housing and the quality of housing that we offer. Not just the government housing, but also the quality of homes that are being built by our citizens. The level of jobs that are being generated in our local economy. The standard of our tourism sector. The standard of our restaurant sector. The healthcare sector. And what is available here? The education sector. How we care for our people. Our elderly. Those who are less fortunate and need a hand up. The programs that we have, not only initiated but sustained over the years. All of these things set this island apart. All of these things say that we are on a path to true sustainability. And then we will look at our plans. A hospital to be completed. An airport to be expanded. Renewable energy through geothermal to be explored and brought to market for the benefit of our people. When we look at the various projects that are planned, private sector investment that is coming and has come and continues to come, we see an island that is on the rise. And despite the naysayers, despite what many would try to pretend doesn't exist, the truth is that the evidence is there for all who will only open their eyes, and for those whose eyes are open but pretend to be blind, for those who will only take off their blinders. The evidence is there. Is the government perfect, and is the island of Nevis perfect? Obviously not. But who is perfect? If you are a Christian and you adhere to the teachings of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, then you would know that the perfect beings were Adam, I suppose some will say Eve, and Jesus. None of the greats in the Bible Moses, David, Jacob. None of the greats, King Solomon, were perfect. Indeed, all failed at some point. All disappointed God at some point. Because we are only human. And yet these were great men, righteous men. And I say that to say that any leader, any servant of the people who comes before you to suggest that he or she is perfect and has all the answers is lying to you. But the leader who comes and says to you that I'm prepared to work hard, I'm prepared to work every day, I'm prepared to put in the time and the effort, the love and the care that only comes from loving people. I'm prepared to do that so that, like Brother Malcolm, when I'm gone, people will say that there's a legacy here that they can enjoy. And I, ladies and gentlemen, am proud of what we've accomplished thus far. We know there's work to be done, but we're up to the task of doing that work. And I'm proud of what we've been able to accomplish thus far. I remember the days when water was off more than it was on in Nevis. Those days are now things of the past. I remember the days when electricity was off more than it was on in Nevis. Those days are now things of the past. I remember the days when we had bad roads, not just the Island Main Road, but our village roads. You drive now on the Island Main Road, you drive through Braziers, you drive down Hanley's Road, you drive in parts of Rollins, you drive in Brownhill, you drive over there in Shaw's Road, you drive up in Butlers. There has been a transformation of the road network and infrastructure on the island of Nevis. I remember a time when the island only had one doctor. Now the island not only has several doctors available, but doctors with various specialties. Surgeons, pediatrician, internist. We have anesthesiologists, radiologists, dentists. We have one of the best eye care programs in the region. In fact, people are coming even from our beautiful sister St. Kitts to access that eye care program. We have urologists available. We even have plastic surgeon that's available now. Those things 15, 20 years ago were unheard of on the island of Nevis. At our hospital, we invested in new ambulances, new mammography machinery, brand new CT scan. Never before. All of these are new initiatives. Upgraded our lab infrastructure. Exposed our people to continuous training. Supported financially those who want to pursue nursing. Provided scholarships and financial support to our doctors and those who want to specialize. Building a system over time that is far better than it was. When you look at our housing stock, you look at the developments, Cherry Gardens, Mountain View, Mountain Crescent I think it's called, forgive me. We have developments in Hamilton, developments here at Craddock Road. One of the most beautiful developments that I've seen, the one at Madden's, Rice's, Hard Times, Bath, Brownhill, Church Ground, housing developments done all across this island, Newcastle, providing housing for our people, many times first home, especially for our young. I want you, ladies and gentlemen, to know how good it makes me feel when a young mother can say, I own my home. I'm working. I have a roof over my head and over my children's head. Housing in Jessops, Cohoons, all across this island. There has been a revolution in housing, coincidentally started by Malcolm Gishard. Look around at the athletic facilities, playing fields, the Mondo track, investment in young people. Just look around this island. How we care for the elderly, the programs that we have pioneered and maintained for our elderly, the social safety nets that we have to give our people a hand up when they need it. Look around at what we've done in education. The Honorable Troy Liebert, under his leadership just recently, would have handed out thousands of devices to our students, to our teachers, even at the preschool level, as we focus on digitization and ensuring that our population, starting with our children, is firmly entrenched in the new digital world. Our outreach in terms of STEM education, our emphasis. I remember a time when we used to have to walk to school. Wherever you're coming from, you had to walk miles to go to school. Now I believe we have a fleet of 6 or 8 school buses that transport our children in relative comfort to get them to and from school safely. We have invested, we continue to invest in our people. Scholarships. We said some time ago that we want every household to have at least one graduate, university graduate. Well, some households now have 2 and 3 and 4. Because what in my day was a rarity of young people getting the chance to study abroad, that is now a very common thing. And we have provided assistance financially to students to study. We have gone out and sourced scholarships across the world. Just recently I saw Earth University in Costa Rica is inviting applications for those who want to pursue careers in agriculture. And I smiled. We talk about legacy. I remember sitting and negotiating those scholarships with the Earth University. Sitting with the donor, Miss Ann Bass of blessed memory, who came and said she wanted to provide these scholarships for Nevisian students to go to Earth University. I remember that. I remember the days when our children used to run and get ready for athletic meets, running on grass at the ETW Park. And they would run on grass if it had been raining, but if it was dry, they'd be running on dirt. So as they come around the track, dust in your face. That was what we had. Now we have an IAAF certified 9-lane Mondo track. An investment for the benefit of our people. It gives me great joy when I go there. I see our people using the facility to exercise, to walk at mornings, to walk in the evenings. I see our athletes using the facility to run on a proper facility to better prepare them for regional and international competition. I see our youngsters playing football because we ensured that there was a football pitch. All of this we have done. All of this our people have now grown accustomed to. I spoke to someone recently and he said to me, that's what you're supposed to do. That's what you were elected to do. That's what your government is supposed to do. And he is staunchly opposed to my government. And I said to him like this. I said, if you apply for a job, as I did, and you are given the job, as the people of Nevis gave me the job, aren't you supposed to do your job? And if you do your job, as you admit that we are doing our job, then aren't you supposed to keep your job? And he looked at me and he walked off. Because he was not prepared to give any credit for the remarkable transformation we have seen on the island of Nevis. So he sought to denigrate it, to diminish it by saying, you're just doing your job. But I said, well, if I'm doing my job, and that is the job that the people of Nevis elected me to do, then I should keep my job because I'm doing it. And I'm doing it well. And he walked away because he had no answer. Because if you have an employee, if you have hired somebody here at Von Radio to do a job and they're doing their job and doing their job well, what are you going to fire them for? They're doing what you hired them to do. And the people of Nevis hired us, voted for us, elected us, so that we can move this island forward. And that is what we're doing. People now use the water taxi facility at Wally. They jump on a boat at any hour of day and night. They go back and forth. They don't even give it a second thought. But it was not always so. People now see the police station at Newcastle. Beautiful edifice. They don't even give it a second thought. And they forget that there was a time when the police officers over there were living in desperate circumstances. Ramshackle, rundown building. Look at what is there now. Look at the brand new Treasury building in Charlestown. Imagine what was and what now is. Look at former vacant lands now transformed with housing. Take a drive over Maddens. Take a look. And you know what I love about this government? We don't pick out in terms of who is to benefit. We don't. Somebody said to me, oh, you know, some people who get these houses don't support your government. And I said, yeah. But are they any vision? They work. They pay taxes. They navel stringberry here. So why shouldn't they be able to benefit? But I want to say to the people of Nevis, not everybody thinks like that. Not every leader thinks like that. We have to be careful. We have to understand the dynamics. And we have tried to create an inclusive society here on the island of Nevis. And that's why on this show I can say that I invite all shades of public opinion, because I have no difficulty doing that. Let me just interject a quick commercial, because I was sent by a friend of mine who said to tell you that the Fish Festival 2025 is happening on June 13th. It will be at the Nevis waterfront from 10:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. Blackstone Sounds, DJ Smudge, Bobby and Toby, all these famous people are going to be there. There'll be a cooking competition. There'll be a ballyhoo eating competition. There'll be a beer drinking competition. Face painting, seafood dishes on sale. Sponsors are many. Let me see if I can pull up the sponsors. Who are they? Some of them I can't see. So I will ask them to forgive me for not naming out the sponsors. But the Fish Festival 2025 is on. June 13th is put on, of course, by the Nevis Fishermen Supply Cooperative and the Department of Marine Resources, St. Kitts and Nevis. It will be June 13th on the Nevis waterfront. So I've done my duty and I have given that ad, which I was asked to give by my good friend, and I am hopeful that people will go out and that they will support. While I am talking about going out and supporting, let me also put a plug out for another ad. I'm going to get back to my soliloquy shortly, but let me go and speak to another ad, and let me see if I can find it, because it is the Breadfruit Festival that is happening in Barnesgut, and that Breadfruit Festival will be June 21st. Barnesgut community, a beautiful community. I ask you to go out and to support the Breadfruit Festival in Barnesgut. That is an example of what's happening here in the community and what is going on the island of Nevis. Now, I want to open the lines, but before I open the lines, let me report further to the people of Nevis. I traveled to New York on June 1st, and I and members of the Nevis Tourism Authority would have traveled there to launch Nevis's new tourism campaign that we have worked on for the past year or so. And we also, of course, would have attended, in my capacity as the Minister of Tourism for the island of Nevis, some events, because our time there coincided with the Caribbean Tourism Organization's Caribbean Week that was held and convened at the Westin Hotel in Times Square. And so it was an interesting time in the city. We went in market, as we call it, because of course New York is one of the biggest source markets for tourism to Nevis. And we had an event at the Paley Center Media Center, a beautiful facility in Midtown Manhattan. And I want to thank the entire team at the Nevis Tourism Authority, the board, the acting CEO, Mr. Farron Jones, all of the staff. I want to thank the team at Tambourine who guided this effort. I want to thank Candy Carter, our ambassador for diversity, who has really helped us, and she curated the event in New York for us. And the event was an incredible success. We were able to get quite a few celebrities to come out. We were able to get quite a few media personalities to come out. We were able to get writers and travel writers, influencers, some members of the Nevisian diaspora. We were even able to get some ministers of tourism from around the region. My brother Cardinal Cardigan Connor from Anguilla, he was there. My brother Javago Jolly from Turks and Caicos, he was there. The Honorable Marcia Henderson from St. Kitts, she was there with her team. I want to thank her for her support. And we had a beautiful event. The masquerades came out. Big shout out to them. They were there. My man Duggins and the entire team, they came out. And it was an eclectic and exciting mix of people and an electrifying night in the city. Nevis owned New York on that night, the 2nd of June. And we have had since then tremendous press coverage. Now, why would you ask, was there such a buzz? The answer is that Nevis is doing something that has never been done, so far as we are aware, in the Caribbean. We launched a campaign in parts in black and white. And people immediately say, oh, well, why black and white? The Caribbean is so lush and green, white sands, blue ocean, greenery. That's what people want to see. Well, that's exactly what we were trying to avoid. And it may sound odd, but I said to the team, how is Nevis going to stand out from the crowd? We don't have the big budgets of Jamaica or the Bahamas or Barbados. How are we going to stand out? How are we going to get people to talk about the island of Nevis? How are we going to get eyes on our campaign when we don't have the budget to push like others have the budget to push? Our budget, for example, is a fraction even of our sister St. Kitts. And as we looked at tourism campaigns around the region, we recognized that there was a certain sameness. All of them showed blue sky, greenery, blue ocean, white sand. People on the beach, maybe a carnival costume scene. Background is reggae music, soca music, steel pan music. Same. Close your eyes. Think about tourism campaigns in the region. Jamaica, Bahamas. Same campaign. And we can't compete with them for attention because they have the resources to push their campaigns, and we get crowded out. So under the guidance of Tambourine, we decided to do something so different, so avant-garde, so, what's the word that they're using now? Disruptive, that we took the world by storm. And I can tell you that it is buzzing. Now, what were we trying to do with a black and white campaign? We were trying to portray Nevis as elegant, as timeless, as historical, as iconic, as luxurious. Many know that black and white is normally used to portray luxury, and to appeal to that discerning clientele that is the clientele that would ordinarily come to the island of Nevis. That 1% that is prepared to pay more for an authentic experience. My friend Casey Jeffers, and I'll come to him in a moment, but he said something that stuck with me. He said, authenticity is luxury. And so we wanted to just bring Nevis to the bare minimum, strip away, and just bare her soul to the world. And that has ignited attention. Just today, I saw in a luxury publication them gushing about this Nevis launch and how different, how disruptive it is. At home, we have the naysayers, we understand some of them. And we also have people genuinely who are saying, well, I prefer the color, and we understand that. But in the markets where we are targeting, I can tell you that the launch has so far generated in the last week and a half, 2 weeks, considerable positive attention. In fact, one colleague said to me, I bet you that other islands will try it too. Because what is the purpose of a marketing campaign? If you're marketing but nobody's noticing you, nobody's talking about you, then your marketing is failing, it's not successful. But if you market something and everybody's saying, oh, what's this about? Talking about it, viewing it, critiquing it, sharing it, commenting on it, it means that you are achieving the very purpose of your campaign. And we want to excite the passions of our people. But beyond the black and white, of course we have color as well. In fact, the website, which is www.nevisisland.com, has as its lead video a black and white, and then towards the end it fades the brilliant color. And it is really breathtaking. Please take a look at it for yourself. But we did something, ladies and gentlemen, beyond trying to be disruptive and to stand out. That is really different. We brought the campaign home to Nevis. We said it is time that Nevisians own our tourism product and how it is portrayed. That Nevisian images and voices and people. And so we reached out to the world of high fashion, to young Casey Jeffers, who as we all know, is making a significant name for himself. Has been featured in Vogue. His book, Uniforms, is completely sold out internationally. It's one of the most sought after compilation of photos. He has had his work displayed at museums, and Casey Jeffers has become a force in the world of high fashion as a photographer. And the team decided we will reach out to Casey and the Vision, living in New York, and ask Casey to be the photographer and to create some curated portraits that we will use to anchor this campaign. And Casey came here and he did his photo shoot, and he has captured what I consider to be some iconic images of Nevisians that will be the anchor of this campaign. We got local models. We got local people, faces, smiles, stories that will now be woven into the fabric of the campaign. I am truly excited about what we have done. It took some time, it took some effort, but I believe that if you look at it through the lens of what we're trying to achieve, it has been done elegantly, beautifully. It has our people and our island, the beating heart of Nevis, at its core. And it tells a story that is a compelling story. And I believe that we will see the benefits of that campaign in the days, weeks, months, and years ahead. And so I want to thank all who were involved, our local models, our local creatives, Casey Jeffers, for his astonishing work, the NTA, the Ministry of Tourism, Candy Carter, Tambourine. All these people work together. They came to me. People know me, know that I'm not a creative, but I understood the image. I understood the mission. I understood what we were seeking to achieve. And I think we have done it beautifully. And so I ask you again to go to www.nevisisland.com and experience it for yourself. See Nevis in a new way, and see Nevis in a way that sets her apart from any other destination on offer in the Caribbean. Ladies and gentlemen, it is almost 9 o'clock. There's so much more that I would like to talk to you about, but as we know, I usually try to get as many calls in as I can. And so I'm going to open the lines and allow you an opportunity now to call, to share your views, your opinions, your perspectives. As I say, we welcome all shades of opinion on the show. The only thing we ask is that we respect the standards that we have set, and the standards here at VON Radio, where, as you know, only the best will do. We are up to it, and so let us get to it. The numbers are 869-469-1616 and 869-469-1700. Let's go to the phones and take our first calls and say good evening. You are on the mark.
Good evening, Miss Sheriff.
Good evening, my dear.
Second Epistles of John, verse 1, 2, and 3. For the truth's sake which dwelleth in us, and shall be with us forever. Grace be with you, mercy and peace from God the Father, and from the Lord Jesus Christ, the Son of his Father, in truth and love. Sympathy is going out to Joan Benjamin in Sinkit on the passing of Vincent Benjamin, better known as Culture, my one and only friend. The Sheriff, Culture passed away. Yeah.
Okay. All right, my dear. I am happy that you would have shared that. Culture, as you know, would have been a regular caller to this show. He would have entertained us from time to time with his stories, even his singing. And I want to join you in extending condolences to his family. I confess I did not know. I did not hear that he had passed, and so I am saddened to hear that, but certainly I join you in extending condolences to his family. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome.
Okay. Let me, as I extend condolences, also extend condolences to Sherry, my dear friend Sherry Gager, and her family on the loss of her sister in St. Kitts, and to let them know that our prayers are with them, prayers of the family of Culture, prayers of the family of Sherry, that, you know, it's so difficult to deal with death. We all know it is there for all of us. It is an appointment we have to keep, but it is nevertheless heartbreaking to deal with. And so my prayers go out to all of those who have lost loved ones, all of those who are mourning, that God may touch you and comfort you. And as I like to say, may the prayers of the multitude comfort you in your time of bereavement. We continue to take your calls at 869-469-1616 and 869-469-1700. For those out there who want to be a part of this show, those are the numbers to call, and we invite you to do so now. As I said, it is important that you call in if you have something to say, because this allows you an opportunity to engage at large. When you call in and the show is almost over, sometimes you have to be a bit rushed. So if you have a point and you want to raise that point, then please call in and be a part of the show. Now, while we wait for the phones to ring, and we will stop at any point that the phones ring so that we can give preference to our callers now. But in the interim, while we wait for the calls, I just want to report further that while I was in New York, I did attend the Caribbean Tourism Organization's event for Caribbean Week, and I was asked to be one of the speakers on a panel looking at AI, artificial intelligence, and its impact in the tourism sector. And we had a very distinguished panel. I was able to present and to have a very informed discussion on this disruptive technology, which is artificial intelligence, and to try and determine how we can use it, how we can harness it to make what we do better. I want to say to the people of Nevis that one of the things that I believe came out quite clearly in that conversation is that artificial intelligence, as it expands and as it is now here, it is no longer a thought, it is no longer an ambition, it is here. And it was the consensus of the panelists that it is here to stay. And we can't be afraid of it. We must use it. We must harness it to make us better at what we do. Now, one of the things that AI will allow us to do, of course, is to streamline a lot of our processes. And streamlining, by its very nature, means that it is possible that there will be job losses. That some jobs that people are now doing, AI can take over those roles. And so I made the point then, and I now make it here tonight, that it is absolutely critical that we stay ahead of the curve. And that we in Nevis, in St. Kitts and Nevis and in the region, start to retool, reskill, upskill our people to prepare them for what is to come. And that is why I am so supportive of the initiative of the Ministry of Education under the leadership of the Honorable Troy Liebert, the excellent leadership of our PS Zanella Claxton and the entire team. Because in moving towards greater digitization, in saying from preschool, I want you to understand what I'm saying, you know. We would have made devices available to our preschools. What we are saying, therefore, is from that young age all the way up, we want our people to understand, to be familiar with, to be comfortable with the idea of our digital world. Because that is where the world now finds itself. And I've given my team a very clear mandate. Nevis will not be left behind. And that is what we've been trying to do, to roll out these programs to ensure that our people are equipped with the tools and with the knowledge to prepare them for the world that we now live in. And so as we look at AI and the disruptive nature of AI, we understand that we have to prepare. We can't fear. Fear is going to do nothing but lead to paralysis. Our people out there who are in certain jobs and start to feel like, well, when AI could analyze this data, they no longer need me. That's the time that you must now think about upskilling, reskilling, ensuring that there is a place for you and a demand for the skill sets that you have. And so we need to inculcate in our people a constant appetite for training and retraining. And I believe, ladies and gentlemen, that we're up to the task. So that session was very interesting and instructive. Let's take this call and go to the phones. I'm sorry, caller, could you please call back? 869-469-1616. 869-469-1700. We'll be delighted to have that conversation with you, and I ask you to call back and apologize for not taking your call sooner. So you can call back and let me go to the phones then and say, good evening, you're on the mark. Hello?
Hello, good evening, on the mark.
Yes, you're on the mark. Could you speak up, please?
Good evening.
Good evening to you.
I'd like to send sympathy greetings for the family of the late Malcolm Bell, a.k.a. One Foot. He passed away. And so the girls and the guys in the square that would normally sit around and line would like to send their sympathy. And this is coming from Vanessa Taveras, all the girls and guys in the square.
Well, Vanessa, when did this happen?
On Sunday evening.
Well, my goodness, I did not hear that at all. That is my very, very good friend.
Yes, he passed away.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry to hear that. Thank you for letting us know, and I certainly join you in extending my condolences to his family as well. He was a very well known.
Very well known.
Yes.
And in spite of his situation, he was a hard working person.
Absolutely.
Yes, he was.
Absolutely.
And we will surely miss him in this place.
Okay, thank you so much, Vanessa. Thank you for sharing. And so I did not know that we have lost. They used to call him One Foot. He is an amputee, but he never let him down, never stopped him, and I did not know that he had passed. This is very shocking news, but Vanessa, I join you, and all in the square, but also his family, in extending condolences on his passing. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Let's keep the calls coming for those who might want to share something. Again, the numbers are 869-469-1616 and 869-469-1700. Let's go back to the phones. Good evening, you're on the mark. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mark, good evening. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, sir. Thank you very much for calling.
Yes, well, first of all, let me take the opportunity to wish anyone who is celebrating tonight, whether it's a birthday anniversary, and at least they would have been blessed to see another milestone. So we like to wish them the very best and wish them many, many, many more years, and hope that they will enjoy the rest of their very important milestone. And to say to those who would have lost a loved one that, you know, we on this program, and I believe the rest of the nation, would like to share our sympathy with them and hope that the Lord will comfort them in this very difficult time.
Indeed, indeed.
Mark, you would have mentioned so much, you know, for the last hour, which you normally will bring to the table. So many different, you talk about the show, you spoke about jobs, respect, the water taxi service, you talk about tourism, education, agriculture, healthcare. I mean, and we can go on, because there's so much really to talk about. But I would just want to touch on a few things, because sports, which is something that is very, very important to me. And I would want to believe that, it is something that anybody, to be honest, especially the younger people, should really take seriously. Because I want to advise you that just maybe just about a month or two ago, there's a big cricket tournament that takes place down in India called the IPL.
Mm-hmm.
And a young fellow at the age of 14.
Yes.
14.
I heard about him. He did very well.
Right? Yeah. Would have scored the second fastest century with 35 deliveries. He being the fastest to score century as an Indian, because Chris Gayle still has the record, the fastest century in 30 deliveries. And when you see a young person at that age, at that stage, could come on the big platform to do so well, and you know what this is going to do to him? This is going to be financially rewarding for the rest of his life. I can tell you. Right? At 14, he still have so many more years in high school. But I want to believe that he probably maybe even done make more money than what his parents would have made throughout their lifetime. Because they pay big money down in India for the IPL. Right? So I would want to encourage any young person to take sports seriously. I also want to congratulate our first female to make the West Indies team.
Yes.
I would have done it last year when I told you that we will have the first male. That done happen. And now we have the first female, Jazara Claxton, who was born on the 12th of March 2006. She is now at the age of 19 and 91 days. Presently, she's in Barbados on the West Indies team, coming up against South Africa. And we wish them the very best in this season. So sports is something that, as I said, I would encourage any persons to do. But when you, in reference to the sports, we had a stadium, we have two stadiums in the Federation, which you also mentioned this evening in reference to the sports stadium in Nevis and the Kim Collins Stadium. But unfortunately, we had no inter-school, even having two stadiums in the Federation. And I'm very disappointed because the government, especially the Minister of Sports, were dishonest to the public. They know they were not going to have any sports inter-school this year. And if they didn't know that, that is also another testimony that they do not deserve to be in government. Why we did not have an inter-school sport after the first one was postponed last year, but not postponed because it was hosted in Nevis, which I really was happy because Nevis is a part of the Federation. So if Nevis couldn't think it couldn't host it this year, why Nevis didn't host it this year? Because two stadiums, and we couldn't host a very important event. And that event does generate tremendous amount of revenue to individuals and also help the team to go down to the chorister. So that was something that I'm very, 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 to be honest, very disappointed in. And I really hope that this thing would get started out. As well, I heard the Prime Minister mention sometime just the other day that the stadium finished. But the stadium finished after the fact. Right? But I will leave that for now because I have a lot more to say in reference to that. I want to say in terms of, because you would have mentioned in terms of especially agriculture and healthcare, right? I would like to get your views in reference to the 25-20 as a nation, because I think I asked you the question and it was very unfortunate that up to today, you could confirm if the Prime Minister had any official discussion in reference to the 25-20, the position and the state of agriculture in our country. Because agriculture and healthcare, nothing is more important to a nation than agriculture and healthcare. Some will say education, but if you have education and you ain't got no health, or good health, you might got to take you got the wealth, you have to take the wealth to pay for the health. But health is number one when it comes to a nation, and how serious our federal government is taking agriculture and health care. Because you mentioned in reference to Nevis, Nevis will be probably just about the best country to live, work, and maybe do business. So that is something good. And I will be happy if that happened to be the case, because Nevis is part of the Federation, and think it actually would benefit, because I really, to be honest, I'm very disappointed in what has transpired in the last 2 years in our Federation in terms of leadership. I give this government right now 17%, and I have minimum 100 reasons why this government should not be elected in the next election. 100 reasons minimum.
Okay, so caller, we don't have time for the 100 reasons tonight. But let me ask you something. You have been on for a little bit, and when you come on, I usually give you an opportunity because I know you have a lot on the plate. But the People's Action Movement, a party I know you have said very vociferously and publicly that you support, they would have had their recent convention. I'm just wondering if you have any observations that you may want to share in terms of where things are on St. Kitts politically with the People's Action Movement having had their convention. I was actually in New York at the time, and I couldn't follow because that day I was actually in flight. But nevertheless, I'm curious as to what your takeaways are and how you see the landscape in St. Kitts now.
Well, I can tell you there's so much that I can say about the People's Action Movement, whether in the past, the record, the history, and now, as you asked, the very important question in reference to our convention, which we had a very important and successful convention. And we are looking forward for the future. We know we have an election to contest, so the most important thing is to get your house in order. When you lose an election, you know definitely that there are reasons why sometimes one would lose an event. And sometimes it's not because you're not better than who win, right? But sometimes you just don't have no control over the people who are selecting, because sometimes you have bad situation, bad circumstances, bad outcome, and bad government, because you just happen to have people making decisions based on sometimes emotion, sometimes promise, and all kind of different things, which we will be able to expound, because there's a lot that definitely I would like to say in reference to my party, something that I am very, very proud. But I just wanted to really concentrate on the nation's issues, because we have a government, and that is what should be focused right now. The election that will come, because there's so much that I have to speak on in reference to the upcoming general election. Tremendous amount of information that I will be able to share and expound, and I know for sure that the government will have to face the public, because they have not done well to the public. They are suffering throughout the Federation based on the lack of leadership. And yes, one might ask the question, have the government done anything? Have the government achieved anything? But I'll be very happy if anybody asks those kind of questions, because when you are elected to government, you are elected only for one reason, and that one reason is to do what is good. So when you do good, you ain't doing no favor. But when you do 17% good in 3 years, that cannot be acceptable. No way that can be acceptable, But as I said, you want me to touch on one thing, Mark, or you want me to round up and give somebody the chance?
Well, I'll give you 2 minutes to touch on one thing. Go ahead.
Well, I just want to mention in reference to the public market here in Bastille, and not even that the government see the need to invest in. I mean, the public market is right down there on the bayfront when you come in for Nevis. And I am extremely proud in terms of the performance of the Team Unity government, you know. It's just that the leader went astray. The leader of Team Unity, which I will expound more in terms of that. And I know you would have mentioned in reference to his leadership and different things and so that I will get into another time, right? But we build the terminal down there that when people go down to go to Nevis, they can sit in comfort. That is an excellent development. We also build down there the old road base project. That was a very, very important. The cruise ship pier, you know, that nice road coming from the airport, stretch from the airport right into Bastille. And many people might think it's the present government do it. That was done under Team Unity, right? So the public market is something that I am very, very disappointed, because I expect that even the public market, they would upgrade, that even they could have the public, the people them doing the food, down vegetables and so downstairs, and then you could go on a second floor, maybe with like people who sell the cooked food. The cooked food, you know, the different type of cooked food, because, you know, a lot of people throughout the Caribbean, the Dominican, the Jamaican, people from St. Kitts and Nevis, maybe the Indian, so you'll be able to have quite a bit of variety. That would create economic opportunity. That also would put a tremendous in terms of the nice look and appearance and everything in terms of the bayfront that definitely need to be looked after. But so that is something that I'm seriously very, very disappointed in. And perhaps I will just leave it there for now. If I get back in, I can continue the interaction and the discussion. So thank you for the time so far.
All right, brother. And, thank you very much.
That the Lord will continue to bless this beautiful country that I really love.
Okay.
You know, and to continue to bless your program.
All right.
So I will leave it there for now.
Good. Thank you very much. We're taking your calls. 869-469-1616 and 1700. Let's go right back to the phones. Good evening. You're on the mark.
Good evening, Premier.
Good evening to you, my dear.
This is Jennifer Freeman.
Yes.
I know you know my voice.
Very well.
But I am calling my name tonight.
Uh-huh.
I have an issue. You know, me live right here.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe in what belongs to me, belongs to me. I have a piece of land here that was left out from the initial survey.
Mm-hmm.
However, as far as I am concerned, it still belongs to me. I believe in public purpose, and when you come down my street, you would notice I even leave out piece of my yard for that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know the road is narrow, and that is my contribution. Now, me can't see long time, going on 32 years, and I had a surveyor come here for, he do it twice. My fencing went up wrong. It's away from the boundary. Another surveyor came since last year, and me not getting away with that. One of them done this year. Me not have nothing against this other one either. What I have a problem with, Mr. Brantley, and just bear with me. If you hear me come on with this, me can't go with this anymore. Now, I told the surveyor that came, do not come up in my yard. I left a message for him, but maybe about 2 years ago on his phone. But he's the kind of person, I didn't know he was like that. Because he worked for me twice, but I didn't get him myself. I got hastened to do it because he was my real job. So, he worked for me at farm, he worked for me at Upper Hickman. Okay. Now, my thing is this. I am somebody he know me well. And I know him. And I didn't expect it from him that he would come here and instead of looking at the boundary, he just comes straight up by my fence. And I am saying, interestingly, Mr. Brantley, the steel that surveyors use, there is one right there in the boundary line. I don't want two of them close to each other by the old ruin, the steps. Now, my land in some quarters are higher than below. But you know the part that disturbs me? He measured my yard from the road, go straight way back down to the end of the land. Just as the neighbor below me land is, the boundary is the same down there, I must say. So, see how much land he take off of this piece of land here. My great-grandfather, like the neighbor below me who sold her land recently, I'm glad for her. And I said, I tell her I'm glad for her. We grow up here together. Now, he's a new neighbor. I have a new neighbor. I don't know who the neighbor is. Maybe I do know, but I don't know the name yet. Now, I should not be, and my neighbor should not be, in any contention with me for what I really own. Now, as a young man said to me just recently, Miss Freeman, you know why this thing is happening to you? Because you can't see. And he is so right. Because I can't see, he tried to take advantage of me. And Mr. Brantley, may I tell you the honest truth. Me not going to let him take no advantage of me. I'm not against the new owner because he didn't put him to do it. You understand what I'm saying? The land is so encumbered that when they go, they can't go through there to see what the land look like. They got to come into my yard to look at it. Now, Mr. Brantley, you believe that this is right? I even got somebody to call him and tell him that he's encroaching on me. Man, the word I get when the person don't talk to him, put the person on speaker too. And the amount of word I get for what is rightfully mine. It can't be right, Mr. Brantley. Well, and that is why I told you years ago. Please, I beg you, look out for persons with disability or differently challenged. Because you have some people that they believe that once, oh, let she go along there, I'll let he go along there, because he not got a foot. She can't see. So, whatever the situation, anything suit us. Mr. Brantley, it cannot be right.
Okay, so I hear you, and you're very passionate about it, as you should be. But my position is that it sounds to me like you have a legal issue.
Yes.
It may be that somebody is trying to take advantage because they consider that you have a disability. But I will tell you that even people who do not have any disability, people try to take advantage also. And especially where land and boundaries are concerned, the ordinary course is for me to suggest to you that you get your lawyer involved, whoever your lawyer might be, that you get them involved.
My lawyer came and see, you know.
Well, that's...
along with the surveyor.
Okay, well, that's good.
And I don't want nobody pay me for my land. I want my land.
Okay,
that is all I want. So I could put my fence in the correct place.
Okay.
Now, I was able to tell her that people come and go, and they don't even see the boundary. She had to ask me, well, how long you live here? I say, from the age of 3 going on 4. I remember, because I born on the land above here, family land.
So you only live there for 20 years?
What is that?
You only live there for 20 years?
Mr. Brantley, you hear me tell you that Miss empty already.
Oh, I just check in.
Come here, go live when me going on 4 years old.
I tell you, I just check in.
Because then I look so now.
You look young like a spring chicken.
I saw you go. Anyway, Mr. Brantley, right? So, I know what it is to toddle through them cane, because that was Nevis. People think cane, cotton, even tobacco, to this place here. And you're going to tell me at the end of the day, I have a legal issue. And you know what I want, Mr. Brantley? Me not keep you too long, because me just want you to think. But listen here. I want to know that we have judges once more that would go to areas where people have issues and let them come and see what people talking about, because the person willful. They willfully do it. I had somebody talk to him. He put the person on speaker and all, and me get word. Me stay right to one place, somebody tell me, go off your phone, I want to tell you what happened here. I was by such and such a place. And I tell you, until the person said me going berserk because of this piece of land. It's more than the piece of land where I live. Mr. Brantley, let me tell you something. I lost my vision going on 32 years. And me no went berserk because God never promised me to get depressed now crazy. And it comes to me, I am literally blind, and that is physical. But it got some people they're naturally and spiritually blind, and the worst kind of blind are the two of them, especially spiritually. And me no want the road to go down for me. I just want what is mine. And I hope the person who buy the land listing, you know. Because Mr. Brantley been not going to rest for anybody to come that when the Lord take me home, anybody going to come to harass me granddaughter and me daughter for what is rightfully theirs. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, I got you very clearly, my friend, but as I say, I can't resolve that for you on the show. That is really...
Let me get you well.
That is to get, you say your lawyers have come, that's the best thing you could do. Get them involved with the matter, get them to resolve the matter the proper way, so you could have the peace of mind that you need, okay?
Yeah, I'm going to look into it.
Yes.
And my thing is one won't, another will. Because I can't see anybody going to come and they see this thing. It's because I can't see why they try this foolishness.
Well, you know the scales of justice, that it's depicted by someone who's blindfolded, you know that?
Yes, I mean, understand, and Mr. Brantley, you know, I'm afraid to go to court now. Because the court is there for who needs to work it. And when me go, I am not going with no intention that whoever do this thing, I put in all of them name, the farm surveyor, to original owner, to present owner.
All right.
Because that is how we going to go.
Okay.
But
all
you
right.
want to hear how it go. All right.
So we'll leave it there, but please take my advice, and you know to reach me, so if you have any further difficulty, let me know, okay?
Yes, I will.
All right. Take
Thank
care, my
you.
friend. Okay, God bless you. All right, let's continue to take some calls. I think somebody's ringing, so let's go back to the phones. Good evening, you're on the mark. We lost that caller. Let's try this one. Caller, good evening, you're on the mark. No, we lost that one as well. Please call back in, 869-469-1616 and 1700. Let's take this call. Good evening, you're on the mark.
Good evening, Mr. Brantley.
Yes, good evening to you.
How are you? Long time to hear your voice.
Yes, I'm here and I'm alive and well, and I'm happy to hear you as well.
Yeah, man, no problem. Okay. Please give me a few minutes to advertise two fundraiser events. The first is the Nevis Renal Society. We'll be having our annual walkathon on the 21st of June. They're going to be next week, Saturday. The starting venue is at the MGR Park. We're going to have a warm-up start at 5:30, and then the walk going to start 6 o'clock sharp. Okay, the walk going to start from the Malcolm Gishard Park, and you turn left along the Island Main Road up to Banscott, and then down to Jessup at the end of Ashley Farrell gas station. And then we're going to go back to the MGR Park. That way we're going to have refreshments and lots of gifts for those lucky winners. Okay? And the T-shirts are all $50. That included the refreshment also.
Okay, tell us again the date.
The date is the 21st of June. That's going to be next week, Saturday. We're going to start warm-up at 5:30, and the walk going to start 6 o'clock, along on the Island Main Road left, then up to Banscott, then down to Jessup to the foot of Ashley Farrell gas station, and then back to where we started. That's where we're going to have refreshment after. The cost of the T-shirts are $50 each, and anyone could collect T-shirts from any member of the society or myself, which is my number is 669-3477. Okay?
669-3477. Okay. Thank you very much, my
3477.
Yes.
And of course, I'm going to save your T-shirts for you.
Well, thank you very much. I don't want the T-shirt, because I have so many T-shirts. But as usual, I will contribute.
Okay.
So just right. So call me. So please give the T-shirt to someone else.
Okay.
But definitely pass by me as usual for contribution. Yes.
Okay. Thanks. And the next one now, as you know about the CBR.
Yes.
Remember I spoke with it some time back.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to have a fundraiser event also at the Cotton Ground Community Center. That's going to be on Friday, which is a pre-Father's Day breakfast. And it's going to start 7 until 11. The tickets are $20 each, and it can be purchased at any member of the organization. And proceeds goes towards to help persons with disability and to accomplish our vision to have a mobile unit for those who have disability to attend the Cotton Ground Community Center. And while I'm here, Mr. Bradley, I'd like to say thank you very much for accommodating us at the Cotton Ground Community Center. We really do appreciate it. Okay?
Thank you very much, my friend.
Okay.
And I wish you all the best and continued success with your efforts. I must commend you.
And it's charity, you know that, right? It's charity.
Yes, but
I'm always there to help someone.
And you've always been there years now.
Years now. And by the way, before I go, I'm no longer PRO for the Nevis Renal Society. I think I had a lot of years in it, so I decided to give it up. So we have a new PRO. But, you know, just in case you don't hear my voice, I'm going to pop by you sometimes, okay? To let you know what's going on with CBR.
Well, thank you very much, my friend, and congratulations for all that you do and continue to do. Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, you have a good evening.
Good.
Thank you.
You do the same. Let's go back to the phones and continue to take the calls. Good evening, you're on the mark. Hello?
Tell Florina one the T-shirt. She gonna get it free. Medium and a cereal.
Medium. Florine, you hear that? My
Medium.
friend said she would want a T-shirt. A medium. Okay. Florine, drop the T-shirt by me, medium, and I'll make sure I deliver it to my friend, okay? So Florine is hearing you, my dear.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Good. Nevis is live and lively. We always love the show. But Florine, I want to say thank you. Because a lot of times we take people and their efforts for granted. And there are a lot of people here on this island who go way above and beyond. They work hard. They don't get any recognition. They're not doing it for money. They're doing it because they love people. And I've always admired Florine. Florine, you and I have been doing this on the radio now for years. She always says, I'm going to call in. She's been with the Renal Society for many, many years. And here she's saying, even though she's no longer the public relations officer, she's still calling in. She's passionate about it. And I really think that we should congratulate people like her who continue to go above and beyond to give back of their time, their talent, their energy to the people of Nevis. So, Florine, thank you. And if I never get a chance to tell you thank you again, I'm saying thank you tonight. And kudos to you for all that you and your colleagues do to help people who need help. That is what makes a community and a society great. The ability and willingness of those who can to offer their assistance to those who need it. And that's what's important. And for me, that's what defines Nevis. Not the roar and the noise that some people are making. Not the animus that some people try to create. But the love, care, and attention that we have for each other. That's Nevis. Let's go back to the phones. Good evening, you're on the mark. Hello?
Premier Brantley, good night.
Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, good night.
Good night to you.
Yeah, I love the spirit of the lady, and they say, if you never tell, she thank you again, but that need one little reward. Put some little thing.
Caller, your words are a little muffled. You could speak a bit more clearly, please?
Yeah, you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you better now. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, may I say that you must tell the lady that if you never tell, she thank you again, but that deserve more than one thank you. So put one little some little thing aside, and you know.
Well, you know, since she helping the community and you're in the community too, and send me a little thing to put in my little thing to help her.
Well, I will work out that.
You would work out that, okay?
Yeah. Listen, your presentation tonight, but the part that catch me, you said that you don't need for fact check. You know, like when you come and you say something, you don't even need for fact check because I just the truth. So the question I go ask tonight, Premier Brantley, how much closer you be to now to the face here?
Well, as I've said in the past, I can't say how much closer I am. What I can say is that the promised study, analysis, whatever you want to call it, that the Prime Minister said he was having done by the World Bank, that has been completed. It has been shared with us in Nevis, and we are doing that analysis. I confess that it has not proceeded at the pace that I would have liked, because I have been traveling quite a bit unusually over the last few weeks. And other colleagues have also been from time to time out. Today, for example, is our usual cabinet day. We did not have a cabinet because I was out, and so is the Honorable Eric Evelyn, who is away on personal matters dealing with some issues. So we have not really had the opportunity to sit as a cabinet, and I have said to colleagues that what we would need to do is to really have a special sit-in, just so that we can come to our position, and then we hope to engage with the federal government. So it hasn't progressed at the pace that I would like, but what I would say is that we now have the analysis, the benefit of it, and that is being assessed by us. So as I have been very clear to the public, when I have a position, I will certainly be willing to come and to say what that position is. But your question of how close we are to it, I can't really say that it's going to happen next week or it's going to happen the week after. But I can tell you that we have the study that was done.
Okay. Because, you know, you don't know if it come in even before Culture Armor. You know?
That would indeed be good. I agree with you.
Well, that's why we may ask how close, you know?
Yes.
Okay. Next question.
Sure.
Would you willing to get one professional debate between you and the last time you said that Nevis not got one leader of the opposition, so we could differ from that. So the leader of the NRP, would you mind get one professional debate with her?
No, I'm always open. I'm always open to a debate. I'm always open to a discussion. I have no difficulty with engaging, because, you know, we are all about, hopefully, about Nevis and the advancement of the island. And I prefer a politics scholar where the ideas are given the chance to contend. What we have as politics in Nevis, unfortunately, is a lot of cussing. You don't have a lot of ideas being exchanged. And you don't have a lot of opportunities, as you and I are now doing, to have a conversation.
Right.
So you have a lot of people, like I said tonight, this is what I feel about fair share. Somebody tomorrow gonna cuss me. But they're not having a conversation. You see, you and I are speaking to each other. You can ask me what you think about that. I'm not saying that you're convinced by my response, but we have an opportunity to talk. And if I tell you 1 + 1 is equal to 3, you can rebut and say, no, you don't agree with that, but we have a conversation. So the purpose, I think, of a debate is really to allow the public to have a feel of the ideas and to get an understanding of where people stand on certain things. Because I hear a lot of things being said, you know. But those things sometimes I smile, because I say the people who are saying them have no idea about how governments work, or the difficulties sometimes that you encounter. Because government is a situation where you may have $10 at your disposal, but you have needs in the communities all across the island that is $100. And so you now have to decide, well, how you going to spend this $10. You're going to put two there, how you know, how you going to manage. So a lot of people talk about government. I give you an example. I give you an example, caller, just before we end the conversation. I give you an example. People say, oh, taxes are too high. It sounds good. And when you say it, people say, boy, yeah, because of course none of us like to pay tax. But when you say that taxes are too high, it therefore means that if you are in government, you will lower taxes or eliminate taxes. And if you do that, then the logical question is, how do you replace that revenue? I said that to say it's not enough for you just to say taxes too high, full stop. You must say taxes are too high, and I propose to do this, that, and that to fix that problem.
Bring one idea.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I would have no difficulty having, as you say, a professional debate. Because in a debate, it's not about cussing, it's about ideas.
Yeah, the kind of debate me talk about, like got one moderator, one timekeeper, got some judges, and one mic for an audience, and like you say like when at the end of the debate, the judges can give one you can say, well, you know, we mark Premier Brantley 9 points on this topic. We mark, you know, Daniel Hodge 8 points. You know, then kind of way they, the audience now we got one say. Got the audience now we got Mike. And I ask one or two questions to you.
Well, I hear you, but usually in political debates, the judges are the people, yeah? Because they're the ones who ultimately going to go to the polls and vote.
The judges are the people.
Yes.
But the point about it, and you know what, the judges like, the still are going to be the people anyway. But not one debate, like when you got school debate and then at the end of the summary, you got somebody who give one what the debate, the point for the debate and so forth. So you're the willing if somebody organize the forum, everything, you're the willing to come and get the debate with Dr. Jonathan.
I have no difficulty debating whether it's Dr. Hodge or frankly anybody, because I think that if we say that we are wanting to serve people, then we must make ourselves available.
Okay.
And that is why I'm on the show. I'm making myself available.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. We appreciate it.
Good. Thank you, caller. Thank you for your sentiments, and thanks for engaging. I appreciate it very much.
Okay, no problem.
All right, great. We have 12 minutes left before we get to the end of the show, so we're taking your calls. Please at 869-469-1616 and 869-469-1700. Let me go straight back to the phones. Good evening, you're on the mark.
Good night, Honorable Mark Brantley, and how are you doing?
I am doing well. It's good to hear your voice.
Okay, nice hearing your voice too.
Thank you.
I would like to send out something here for Mr. Kishad.
Hello?
I almost lost it.
Hello?
Hello? Yes.
Yes.
In loving memory of the Honorable Malcolm Gishad,
Yes.
affectionately known as Gish, who passed away on June 11, 2007. He is remembered by many whose lives he touched. May his soul continue to rest in eternal and perfect peace. Okay?
Thank you very much.
And now I'm going to my scripture.
Yes.
Let me turn up my volume. Yes. My scripture reading is taken from Ephesians chapter 6 and verses 10. Whenever I stop. My phone is not too much charge. Okay. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and have done all to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having in the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace.
above all taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. Here ended the reading of the scripture, and may God add his richest blessings unto it.
Thank you very much, my friend.
Have a
I
good
do appreciate
night.
it.
Love you.
Love you too. Thank you very much for the call.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, we're taking your calls. We have about 8 minutes left, and we're going to take as many calls as we can. And the numbers 869-469-1616 and 869-469-1700. Now, before we leave the show, I just want to say to the general public that we had, as the Concerned Citizens Movement, a wonderful, wonderful event for Mother's Day. And many have said, what about the fathers? Well, we are having a Father's Day affair. We're going to have some entertainment, games, dominoes, raffles. It will be on June 15th. It will be at the MGR Park, 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. We're going to have refreshments and much more. Admission is free. One thing about the CCM that I love, the party that I lead, we like to give back. When we engage with our people, whether it's for Mother's Day, Father's Day, we're not asking you to buy anything. We ask you to come to be with us because we want to show you that we care. We want to demonstrate that we love you. We don't use those types of events as fundraising. When we're having a fundraiser, we say we're going to have a fundraiser. We're having a dance, we're having a get-together. That is the purpose for it. When you see Mothers Day come around, we not charge the poor people in Nevis to tell them come to event. No. You provide an opportunity for them to come and mingle. Come mix and commingle. That's what you try to do. You try to get people together. And so for Father's Day, we're going to be on the grill. We're going to be liming and hanging out. We're going to be playing some dominoes. We're going to be getting together. Fathers of Nevis, you are invited to the MGR Park. Come and have a drink with us. Come and play some domino. Come and hang out. Come and eat some food. Come and just let us be together as a community. That's what, to me, it's about. That's what's important. So Father's Day, CCM is inviting you. It's going to be on June 15th at the MGR Park from 2 p.m. until 7 p.m. And so we invite you to come and let us just show our appreciation to the fathers, to the dads of Nevis for all that they do to help us to have the kind of communities, the kind of society, the kind of families that we are seeking to cultivate here on the island of Nevis. So all the fathers of Nevis, this is my personal invitation to you. June 15th, Father's Day, at the MGR Park from 2 to 7 p.m. Come on out. Play some domino, eat some food, have something to drink. It is all provided free because we want you to come and have a good time and relax yourself. Men are under a lot of pressure usually. So this is a time to just come and chill. Just come and relax yourself and enjoy yourself with the Concerned Citizens Movement. Let's go back to the phones. No, we've lost that caller. Caller, please call in. 869-469-1616 or 1700. Those are the numbers. But yes, going back to the Father's Day affair. It's going to be a grand time. We're going to have some good prizes there to win. Those who want to play domino and win some money, we're going to have something there for you. Those who want to come and have a little drink, man, come and have a drink with us. Those who want to come and eat some good food, we're going to have all kind of food there. Them fellas say they're killing, I don't know how much goat they're killing, but they have goat water. They're going to have some fish. They're going to have some ribs. They're going to have some chicken. We're going to be on the grill. Last time we were on the grill, man, the crowd was so thick that we ran out of food. I felt so bad because towards the end, we just didn't have anything left because we had such a crowd for Mother's Day. Well, same thing. And fathers, just how the mothers brought the children, bring the children too if you like, you know. Bring them, we'll take care of them. The idea really is to allow the fathers of Nevis to relax. Just come through, man. Just relax yourself. You don't have to leave your wallet home. Leave your wallet home. Just come and relax yourself. On the 15th of June at the MGR Park from 2 to 7 p.m. The CCM will take care of you. Our way of giving back, our way of saying thank you. To mix and mingle. Comics and commingle. Like that terminology. First heard it in church. Comics and commingle. So, come on out and be a part of what we are seeking to do here, which is to build a community. The Mother's Day event was incredible. We know the Father's Day event is also going to be incredible. Let's go back to the phones and take this call. Caller, good evening. You're on the mark.
Yes, good night, Mr. Mark.
Good evening to you.
Yeah, how you do?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Okay, great. Nice. Welcome back home.
Thank you for
and
saying
thanks for your contribution.
Yes.
Towards the Higher Heights Rastafari movement.
Yes.
Event. As you speak of Father's Day, can I come and get my weed?
Can you come and get your weed?
Yeah.
What weed?
My smoke on.
Well, you want to get smoke on where? At the event?
Yeah, the event. So you say everybody come and have a drink and have this and have that.
Yeah, you could come and have a drink. You could come and get some ital, but we don't gonna have no weed. So if as the law now stands, if you want to burn a split, burn it home before you come.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
How are things? How are things with you and the family?
Yeah. No. Okay. Where can I find? I get in touch with the NTV Affairs unit.
With who?
In Nevis.
With I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
The enthusiastic affairs. Ecclesiastic. Yeah.
The church who deal with churches, various organizations.
Yeah.
We don't actually have a ministry in Nevis, you know. It's usually there's a federal ministry. I believe that the Honorable Jeffrey Hanley is the minister, and it is they normally would coordinate events. When they do that, they do it through the Premier's ministry in Nevis.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't have a ministry of ecclesiastical affairs on Nevis per se.
Okay. Because my next question would be, what's the progression on the cannabis industry?
What's whose position? Mine?
Not well. From a Nevis point of view, I'm hearing all sorts of things happening in St. Kitts, and I'm not hearing anything in Nevis. What's happening on Nevis side?
Well, Nevis did have some representation on the commission, but I confess that I myself need to dig a bit deeper to find out what's going on, so that we on this side of the Narrows can also benefit, and the people on this side of the Narrows can benefit from whatever the benefits are to be had. I must look into it. It is not a matter that I have looked into recently, but I will give you my undertaking that I will investigate, because the people of Nevis must not be left out. We have been agitating, people like yourself and others, for a very long time. And if there are benefits, business opportunities, as the case may be, then naturally the people of Nevis have to be a part of that. So I'll take that, and it's a pity you call at the end of the show, because I think this is a discussion that is worthwhile. It's a discussion that's necessary, but we have come to 10 o'clock, and you know when 10 o'clock strikes, it means the show is over.
What I'll probably do when you have some time is to organize a delegation and come in, and we can have a discussion.
Okay.
For about half an hour or so, 45 minutes or thereabout.
Okay, no problem, my brother.
Yeah.
We'll have to leave it there.
You still see you're still open to the public on Thursdays?
I do, ordinarily though, because sometimes it is so many people, so I would ask just to ring the office, and they will give you a time, so people don't have to wait too long.
Okay.
Okay?
Beautiful.
All right.
Beautiful.
Thank you, my brother. Take care.
Yeah, man. Bless up yourself.
All right, you too. And I hope the family is good. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our show. We gotta go. The banner struck up. It means that it is the end of the show. Thank you very much to all of those who called. I hope the show was informative. And this show is rebroadcast tomorrow right here on Von Radio at 1 p.m. Some say it's so nice they listen to it twice. And let me remind you that on June 15th, Father's Day, the Concerned Citizens Movement is having a massive Father's Day event at the MGR Park. From 2 in the afternoon until 7 p.m., please come out, spend some time with us. Come and have a drink, come and have some food, come and play some dominoes, come and win some prizes for the dads. So let your wife or your woman drop you to the gate. Leave your wallet home and come and spend time with us. Let us show you our love and appreciation for all that you do as fathers. And if you want to bring your kids with you, bring them as well. We'll take care of them. That's our show. Thank you, good night, and God bless you.
The views and opinions expressed on the preceding program were solely those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Nevis Broadcasting Company Limited or its advertisers.